framed and jailed by her husband, till she exposed her billionaire heiress identity. Imagine being betrayed by the person you trusted most in the world, someone who vowed to love and protect you, only to frame you for a crime you didn't commit and leave you rotting in jail. Now imagine discovering that beneath all the lies, there's a secret buried so deep it could change everything. Not just your life, but the lives of everyone around you. This is exactly what happened to Sophia Grayson, a woman whose story is as shocking as it is inspiring. It's a tale of betrayal, resilience, and ultimately redemption. A journey from darkness into light, where nothing is quite what it seems. Sophia grew up believing she was ordinary, living an unremarkable life, until fate intervened in ways she never saw coming. She fell in love with Ethan Carter, a charming man who swept her off her feet with promises of forever. At first glance, their relationship seemed like something out of a fairy tale. Romantic dates, laughter-filled nights, and dreams of building a future together. But beneath Ethan's polished exterior lay a web of deceit so intricate that even Sophia, with her sharp instincts, couldn't see through it. Little did she know, marrying him would set off a chain of events that would tear her world apart. The trouble began when Ethan started acting strangely. Secretive phone calls late at night, sudden disappearances without explanation, and a growing distance between them. Sophia tried to brush it off, chalking it up to stress or work-related issues. But one fateful evening, everything changed. The police came knocking on her door, accusing her of embezzling millions from a company she had barely heard of. Confused and terrified, Sophia insisted she was innocent, but the evidence against her seemed overwhelming. Bank statements, forged signatures, and witnesses all pointed directly at her. And standing beside the officers was Ethan, his face unreadable, claiming he never wanted any of this. What followed was a nightmare Sophia couldn't wake up from. Arrested, humiliated, and thrown into a cold, unforgiving prison cell. She struggled to make sense of how her life had unraveled so quickly. How could Ethan do this to her? Why would he destroy everything they had built together? More importantly, how could she prove her innocence when every piece of evidence painted her as guilty? For months, Sophia lived in despair, her spirit slowly breaking under the weight of injustice. Yet amidst the chaos, a spark within her refused to die, an unyielding determination to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. It wasn't until a chance encounter with another inmate that Sophia's perspective shifted. This woman, older and wiser, shared stories of people who had been wrongfully imprisoned, yet found ways to reclaim their lives. Her words ignited something in Sophia, a glimmer of hope she hadn't felt in ages. Determined not to let her circumstances define her, Sophia began digging deeper into her past, searching for clues that might explain why Ethan targeted her. What she uncovered was beyond anything she could have imagined. A hidden chapter of her own history, buried long before she met Ethan. As Sophia pieced together fragments of her childhood memories, she stumbled upon a revelation that left her breathless. She wasn't just Sophia Grayson. She was Sophia Aldridge, the estranged daughter of one of the wealthiest families in the country. Her real name, her true identity, had been erased after a bitter family feud led to her being sent away as a child. The Aldridges were billionaires, their fortune built on generations of business acumen and shrewd investments. But Sophia had been kept in the dark about her heritage, raised by foster parents who knew nothing of her origins. Realizing this, she understood why Ethan had chosen her. He saw her not as a partner, but as a pawn in a much larger game. But here's the twist. Sophia wasn't just a victim anymore. With her newfound knowledge came power. The kind of power that could turn the tables on Ethan and expose his crimes for what they truly were. However, wielding this power wouldn't be easy. Reclaiming her identity meant stepping back into a world she didn't recognize, facing relatives who may not welcome her return, and navigating treacherous waters filled with greed and betrayal. Still, Sophia knew she had no choice. If she wanted justice and revenge, she would have to embrace her legacy and use it to dismantle the web Ethan had woven around her. The tension builds as Sophia begins reaching out to allies, both old and new. A journalist willing to risk everything to tell her story. A former lawyer disbarred for exposing corruption, but eager to help her fight back. Even a few inmates who became unlikely friends during her time behind bars. Together, they form a team determined to bring down the man who shattered Sophia's life. But Ethan isn't going down without a fight. As soon as he learns of Sophia's plan, he ramps up his efforts to silence her permanently. Threats escalate. Danger looms closer, and Sophia finds herself questioning whether she has what it takes to see this through. And then, just when it seems like things can't get worse, Sophia receives a mysterious letter. Written in careful handwriting, it contains a single sentence that sends chills down her spine. "You're not the only one looking for answers." Who sent it? What do they know? And how does this tie into the larger conspiracy surrounding her family's fortune? Suddenly, Sophia realizes that her battle isn't just against Ethan. It's against forces far greater than she ever anticipated. This is where we pause, leaving Sophia on the brink of discovery, her heart racing with fear and anticipation. Will she find the strength to confront her past and reclaim her future? Can she trust those around her? Or will betrayal strike again? And most importantly, what secrets lie hidden in the shadows, waiting to be unearthed? Stay tuned for the next chapter of Sophia's journey, a story of courage, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Because sometimes, the greatest victories come from the deepest wounds. The letter haunted Sophia, its cryptic message replaying in her mind like a broken record. She stared at the envelope again, examining every detail. The faint scent of lavender, the watermark on the paper, the postmark from a town she didn't recognize. Whoever wrote it knew something about her, something big. But who? And why now? Her gut told her this wasn't just some random act of kindness. Whoever sent it had their own agenda. Still, Sophia couldn't ignore the possibility that this person might hold a key to unraveling Ethan's schemes. Or worse, expose secrets about her family she wasn't ready to face. As days turned into weeks, Sophia dove deeper into uncovering her roots. With the help of her journalist ally, Claire, they traced fragments of information about the Aldridge Empire. The more she learned, the clearer it became that her family wasn't just wealthy. They were influential, with ties to politics, corporate giants, and even organized crime. It explained why Ethan had targeted her. Marrying Sophia gave him access, not only to her hidden inheritance, but also to connections he could exploit for his own gain. But what Sophia didn't understand was how Ethan found out about her true identity in the first place. Someone must have tipped him off, someone close to her family, or perhaps within it. That thought alone sent shivers down her spine. Meanwhile, Ethan grew increasingly desperate. He began making mistakes, rushing deals, alienating allies, and leaving loose ends untied. His paranoia showed in the way he constantly checked over his shoulder, as if expecting Sophia to appear at any moment. Yet, despite his unease, he doubled down on his efforts to discredit her. Through his network of corrupt lawyers and bribed officials, Ethan spread rumors that Sophia was mentally unstable, claiming she was fabricating stories to escape responsibility for her alleged crimes. These lies painted her as delusional, making it harder for anyone to believe her side of the story. Even Claire warned Sophia that public opinion was turning against her, but Sophia refused to back down. If anything, Ethan's tactics only fueled her resolve. She started documenting everything, every interaction, every piece of evidence, every suspicion. Late at night, she pored over files with Claire, piecing together timelines and connecting dots. Slowly, a picture emerged. Ethan wasn't working alone. There were others involved, shadowy figures pulling strings from behind the scenes. One name kept surfacing, a man known only as Mr. Blackwood. No one seemed to know much about him, except that he operated in the grey areas of legality, brokering deals and silencing threats. Sophia realized that taking down Ethan meant confronting Blackwood too, a prospect that terrified her. Amidst all this, a subplot unfolded involving Mia, one of the inmates Sophia befriended during her time in prison. Mia had been sentenced for a crime she swore she didn't commit, much like Sophia herself. When Sophia shared bits of her investigation with Mia, the woman revealed startling details about her own case, details that eerily mirrored Sophia's situation. Both women had been framed, using forged documents, manipulated witnesses, and planted evidence. Could it be a coincidence? Or was there a larger pattern at play? A methodical operation designed to ruin lives for profit or power? This revelation added another layer of complexity to Sophia's quest for justice. If Mia's case was connected to hers, then the conspiracy stretched wider than she'd imagined. Tensions escalated further when Sophia decided to take a bold step, contacting her estranged family. Reaching out to the Aldridges felt like walking into a lion's den. They were powerful, ruthless, and deeply divided by years of infighting. Sophia knew they wouldn't welcome her with open arms, especially since her existence threatened the fragile balance of control within the family. But she needed answers and resources. Without them, she stood little chance against Ethan and his accomplices. Through careful planning, she arranged a secret meeting with her uncle, Charles Aldridge, the black sheep of the family, who had long ago distanced himself from their toxic dynamics. Charles listened intently as Sophia laid out her suspicions, his expression unreadable. Finally, he agreed to help, but only if she promised to bring the entire operation crashing down, no matter the cost. With Charles's support, Sophia gained access to classified documents detailing financial transactions linked to Ethan and his associates. The trail led to offshore accounts, shell companies, and illegal dealings spanning continents. Each discovery brought her closer to exposing the truth, but also put her in greater danger. Threats escalated, from anonymous calls warning her to stop digging to break-ins at her safe house. One night, while reviewing files with Claire, Sophia heard a noise outside. Heart pounding, she grabbed a flashlight and crept toward the window, only to see shadows moving in the darkness. Someone was watching her. The stakes reached a fever pitch when Ethan finally made his move. Using his remaining influence, he orchestrated a smear campaign so vicious it dominated headlines nationwide. Photos surfaced of Sophia allegedly meeting with known criminals, photos later proven to be doctored. And whispers spread that she was laundering money through fake charities. Public outrage mounted, and even some of Sophia's supporters began questioning her motives. Desperate to counteract the damage, Sophia released a video statement online, laying bare her ordeal and presenting undeniable proof of Ethan's deceit. For a brief moment, it seemed like the tide might turn in her favor. But just as hope flickered, disaster struck. Claire disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only a hastily scribbled note. "They're coming for you." Panic gripped Sophia as she realized she was truly alone now, cut off from her strongest ally. With time running out and enemies closing in, she faced an impossible choice: retreat into hiding and abandon her fight, or risk everything in a final daring confrontation. As she prepared for what lay ahead, the mysterious letter writer resurfaced, offering a lifeline, but at a price Sophia wasn't sure she could pay. Every decision felt heavier than the last, every move fraught with peril. Yet amidst the chaos, Sophia clung to one unshakable belief: she deserved justice, not just for herself, but for everyone who had suffered under Ethan's schemes. The climax loomed near, a storm gathering on the horizon. Would Sophia emerge victorious, reclaiming her life and legacy? Or would the forces arrayed against her prove too strong to overcome? All signs pointed to a showdown unlike anything she, or anyone else, had ever faced. The mysterious letter writer revealed themselves at the most unexpected moment. It was Mia, the inmate Sophia had befriended in prison. She hadn't disappeared as everyone thought. She'd been working undercover, gathering evidence against Ethan and his network of criminals. Her own case wasn't just connected to Sophia's. It was part of a larger operation orchestrated by Mr. Blackwood, who used vulnerable people like pawns in his game. With Claire missing and time running out, Mia became Sophia's lifeline, delivering critical information that could finally bring Ethan down. Armed with this new intel, Sophia devised a plan so risky, it left even Charles questioning her sanity. They would expose Ethan live on national television during an exclusive interview he had scheduled to declare his innocence. Sophia knew this was their only chance to catch him off guard, forcing him to reveal his true colors in front of them. Millions. The stakes were higher than ever. Failure meant not only losing her freedom, but also sealing the fates of countless others trapped in Blackwood's web. The night of the broadcast arrived, and Sophia stood backstage, heart pounding. She wore a wire hidden under her clothes, connected to a team, ready to intervene if things went south. As Ethan took his seat, calm and confident, she stepped onto the stage, her presence shocking both him and the audience. For a split second, Ethan froze, but then he recovered, trying to spin the narrative by claiming Sophia was mentally unstable. But Sophia didn't flinch. Calmly, she began laying out the evidence piece by piece. Bank records, forged documents, testimonies from victims, including Mia, and a recording of Ethan admitting his role in framing her. Ethan's facade crumbled. As the truth unfolded, his arrogance turned to panic, his lies unraveling before the entire country. Just as he tried to flee, authorities stormed the studio, arresting him on multiple charges. It was over, or so Sophia thought. In the chaos that followed, she received devastating news. Claire had been found unconscious in a remote location, barely alive. Though relieved that her friends survived, Sophia realized how close they had all come to tragedy. With Ethan behind bars and Blackwood exposed as the mastermind behind the conspiracy, the dominoes began to fall. Investigations into Blackwood's empire uncovered layers of corruption, reaching far beyond what anyone expected. Powerful figures fell from grace, while others scrambled to distance themselves from the scandal. For Sophia, justice felt bittersweet. Yes, she had won, but the cost had been enormous. Her innocence, her trust, and nearly her life. As the dust settled, Sophia returned to her family, finding solace in reconnecting with her roots. The Aldridges weren't perfect, but they welcomed her back, acknowledging the pain caused by keeping her heritage hidden. Together, they worked to rebuild their fractured legacy. Using their wealth and influence for good, Sophia established a foundation dedicated to helping wrongfully imprisoned individuals like herself and Mia, ensuring no one else would suffer the same fate. Mia, now exonerated thanks to the evidence uncovered during Sophia's fight, became a key figure in the foundation. Their bond grew stronger, transforming from allies in survival to lifelong friends united by shared trauma and triumph. Even Charles, once estranged from the family, found redemption through his support of Sophia's cause, becoming a voice for transparency and accountability within the Aldridge Empire. Looking back, Sophia reflected on everything she had endured. Betrayal, fear, and loss had shaped her journey, but they hadn't defined her. Instead, she emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to make a difference. Framed and jailed by her husband, she had risen above it all, not just to reclaim her identity, but to rewrite her destiny. In the end, Sophia's story wasn't just about revenge or vindication. It was about resilience, the power of truth, and the courage to stand up when the odds seem insurmountable. Her tale served as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope. And sometimes, the greatest victories come from the deepest wounds. As she gazed at the horizon, ready to face whatever came next, Sophia knew one thing for certain. She was no longer afraid.